Hello and welcome everyone. My name is Brianne Austin and I'm a librarian here at CI. This video will go over the basics of searching the main library catalog, which is also called OneSearch. The library catalog searches almost all of the library's holdings, and while it isn't perfect, it can be a great place to start your research and to search specifically for books. Later on in your research, you should be searching the library's databases, but this is a good place to start. So let's move ahead to the main library homepage, library.csuci.edu. So this is the main library homepage, and what you'll notice right at the top is that there's this kind of Google search bar. However, I always recommend on any library catalog or database search to go directly to the advanced search option and search using that. And this is located directly under our search bar with the Use Advanced Search. So unlike Google, when you're searching a library catalog or database, you can't just type in a question. Instead, you're going to pull out the core or really critical concepts of your research question or topic, and those will be your search terms. You want to use the advanced search option because this interface is going to give you more tools to help you customize your search and therefore improve your search results. At the top of the advanced search box, you're going to see Search For with three options: CI Collections, Everything, or Print Materials. By default, you're going to be searching CI Collections, which basically searches almost everything we have. You could, however, also search Everything, which will search our collection as well as our library partners. However, at the beginning, it's probably best to start with the default and search CI Collections. Next, you'll see a section called Search Filters. It's a really good idea when performing a library search to group related concepts together in one line and then to separate different ideas from each other on separate lines. This gives you more control in where and how you are searching because you can search specific fields using this drop-down menu. So you could say this line should only search the title or the author, and you can also use the drop-down menu here for the Boolean operators and, or, and not. If you look to the right, you'll also see additional ways to narrow your search results right from the start, such as by material type. With this drop-down menu, you can search for books or articles only, or by language, or by date range. With the advanced search, you can choose to limit your search on this screen or later on with the search results screen. It's whichever you feel more comfortable with. Now, I'm interested in researching student loan forgiveness in the United States. So in my first line, I'm going to write student loan forgiveness. In my second line, I'm going to take the other idea I have, which is the United States, because I'm not interested in global student loan forgiveness. I'm only interested in the United States. You'll also notice that I put United States in quotations, so I can search the phrase. This is a huge search tip. If you ever want to search a phrase rather than the individual words, put the phrase in quotation marks. So now let's hit the search button. This is our search results page. At the top of this page, you can see the terms we searched. Below are our search results, and on the left, we can see ways to refine, limit, or filter our search results. Immediately, you might notice some resemblance to a very popular shopping website, Amazon. Basically, if you can search Amazon, you can search the library catalog and most of our databases because they use very similar tools. If I was on Amazon, I'd see at the top that I had searched for a shirt, and then I would see my search results below that, and on the left, I could then filter out my search results to only show blue shirts, or shirts with Prime, or a specific size or material. Library catalogs function in the same way. So let's first look at our initial search results, which are 2,383 items. That's a lot, and obviously more than anyone's going to look through. But before I go over how we can refine our results, let me go over the items themselves. The first thing you should notice when looking through the results is what type of items you're looking at. At the top of each item's record, you'll see a gray identifier. So this first item is a text resource, the second is a book, and the third is an article. Then we can find the really important information like the title and the author as well as the copyright date. If it's an article, you'll also see if the item is peer-reviewed with this little purple icon that labels it peer-reviewed. This is really important because often your professors are going to ask for peer-reviewed articles. The bottom of each record shows its location. As you can see, the first and third items are electronic, so it says full text available. The second item, the book, is actually a physical item in our library, and it provides you with the call number here so you can locate it once you get into the library. Just to demonstrate, I'm going to click on this third item, Perceived Effects of Student Loan Forgiveness. This brings me to the full item record page. Since this is an electronic item, you can see under the header, full text availability, we have the link in numerous databases. So I can just select one and it'll take me directly to the full text. This page also has two really important tools, the citation and permalink buttons here at the top of the page. When you are searching a database, I recommend that you have a Google Doc or Word doc open so that you can keep notes on the sources you want to explore later. However, and this is critical, if you copy and paste the browser URL or bookmark this page, the link will not work later. Let me repeat. If you bookmark or copy paste the URL in the browser bar, it will not work later. Instead, in a library catalog and database search, you want to save the citation information and the permalink. When you select the citation, the catalog creates a computer-generated citation for you, which you can then copy and paste into your notes. But be careful. These are not perfectly generated citations, and the formatting is almost a little wrong. So while you can copy this into your notes, you should not copy it into your final research paper. Along with the citation information, you should copy-paste the permalink. This permalink, unlike the browser URL, will bring you back to this exact page. There is no timestamp, and this is what you want to copy and paste into your notes. Sometimes a database will call this a stable URL or a permanent URL, but usually you'll see URL, link, and perhaps a little chain icon. Now let's go back and look at our refining tools. These tools exist to narrow down that 2,000 plus number of search results to a more manageable and relevant number of sources. One of the most common filters is the peer-reviewed journals button, because often your professors will ask you to use peer-reviewed sources in your assignments. However, there are other helpful filters you should be familiar with as well. The resource type filter allows you to limit your search results to specific types. So you can view only newspaper articles, reports, or books, or any other type of item. You can either click on the item here to only include this type, or you can actually click the red button here to exclude this type of resource. The creation date filter is pretty self-explanatory, but very useful. It lets you limit your search results to a specific date range. And then there's the subject headings. Think of subject headings as your academic hashtags. There are a lot of ways we can describe or discuss a topic, so subject headings are phrases librarians use to group related discussions under one common phrase. You can browse these subject headings to discover new search terms you hadn't considered, or you can use them to limit or exclude subject headings from your search results. So let's do a quick demonstration on how I might narrow these search results down. The first thing I would look at is the date. I'm interested in the current debate on this topic, not a historical discussion. So let's narrow it down to the last 5 or 6 years. I'm going to hit refine. So this brings us down a little bit, but not really enough. So I'm going to now look at my subject headings. So immediately I notice student loans. That's something I want to narrow it down to. But I also see debt cancellation, which is really another way of saying student loan forgiveness. So not only do I have a new search term that I'm going to write down, I'm going to limit it to items that, again, have both of these subject headings. Let me click Apply Filters. So this has narrowed my search down about 1,000 results overall to give me about 1,300, which again is still too many. And what I would do next is going to depend on where I am in my research process. I could go back and add or change my search terms. I could narrow it down to different resource types. So if I select here, what I'll notice is we do have books and newspaper articles. If I'm toward the beginning of my research, I might want to look at those resources. If I'm a bit more advanced in my research and I'm very knowledgeable of the topic, I might narrow it down to peer-reviewed journals. It depends on where I am in the process. And remember, research is a process, so you will constantly find yourself going back and forth and redoing these searches and changing your filters and going back and changing your search terms. It's all part of the process, and it is very normal. Now, before we finish up, I do want to show you a new tool in our library catalog, the ability to search other libraries' catalogs. So what I'm going to do is limit this search to books. And it shows me that I only have one book in our library on this topic. And the problem is I think there might be more books out there. So what I'm going to do is come up to the top and click to include results from other libraries. And as it happens, the other libraries that we partner with actually have 17 additional books that might be useful to my research. If I find one that I think will work, I'm going to go beneath it and click Get it for me from other libraries. This brings us to our items record page, and you can select if you want to have a physical copy delivered to the library or if you need a digital chapter. Now let me go back to the search results page because I want to show you one more thing. Importantly, the library catalog is still searching our library and all of our library partners. So if I went up to search criteria and changed my search, I would still be searching all of our library partners. So if I want to do a new search, make sure you click back to library search results, and that will bring you back to searching just the library catalog. And that's it. This concludes our introduction to searching the library catalog. If you have any further questions, please do not hesitate to reach out to Broome Library, where we can help you with any of your research-related questions, including how to search the library catalog. Once again, thank you for watching.